we are back with a brand new episode of Alien Earth. This time, episode 6, The Fly. This is after the really good episode we watched, In Space No One. Go watch our review of that one. And in The Fly, things are unfolding in the Neverland facility in ways that we predicted.
Yes.
Yes, I have many choice words to say. First, let me say I still love this series. I am enjoying it very much. But this is the kind of stuff that I was worried about. So I'm going to let the boys speak first and see what they think of this. And then I wrote some stuff down, so I want to share that later. But I'm going to let the boys speak first.
Yeah, last episode is the best episode I've ever seen. This one is the calm before the storm, I guess. It's what we kind of anticipated. More family stuff. Although Nibs' story is still kind of like in the back end. It's still there, which we don't really care about. The whole pregnancy thing and the reset.
Yeah, the B-plot, yep.
Yeah, we see.
How you feeling?
It was okay.
Yeah,
I think it was okay, but
okay.
I guess like for me, I wanted it to kind of like be quicker. It's like all right, like a little bit of what's going on now. I guess like get the wheels in motion in the first half of the episode, and then kind of evolve into chaos.
Okay,
sooner.
I'm picking up on what you're saying a little bit. We got 2 episodes left, right?
Yeah.
So are we going to be able to wrap this up in a satisfying way? I'm getting kind of whiffs and hints that maybe not. Maybe that this is a multiple season. I mean, obviously they want multiple seasons, and I've done some research on that end too. So stay tuned for what we've learned on that.
Yeah, because I'm feeling like the cliffhanger is going to be. They're finally kind of going to get off the island, and then bam.
Yeah.
Next season.
This episode has some great individual scenes. I fucking love seeing that alien all fucking curled up and then uncurling and then, dropping down. The Fly, the episode is titled after the 4th experiment or the 5th experiment that we hadn't really seen very much. And it is incredibly cool. It literally eats metals and metallics. So, your synth bodies and your machine bodies is the perfect type of food. We get some Kersh stuff where he clearly at this point is going against Boy Cavalier and has his own plan when he straight up lies to his boss. Boss is going, everything going good? He's like, affirmative.
Yeah, and for me, that's what's holding it up are certain scenes. Not the whole story here and the whole episode, kind of like, okay,
scenes.
But the scenes were great. I like the lawyer scenes. I like the Morrow and Kersh elevator scene.
The trading barbs back and forth.
Yeah, him just watching
good.
everything like go down, and like you said, the fly stuff and those scenes I do like. But in between,
the stupidity is kind of where I'm having the problem. Because I think, there's this raging online debate between whether the show is written poorly or whether the show is written well, right? And, you're really giving a lot of ammunition to those who think the show is written poorly. But I think the show is written well, but they are relying so much on the tropes of, the hubris and the stupidity and that. Now, there is some explanations I've got written down there, but I still think that this is maybe a little bit of a bridge too far for me on way some of this unfolded. And we'll get to that. But, Alex, what do you think?
I think this episode was written poorly. Like, just straight up, this is not a well-written episode. Like, this is the first time we got an actual plot hole. And not the way the internet uses plot hole, where there's, like, a leap in logic. Yeah. There's legitimately a massive fucking plot hole they built into the story. That's
there might be multiple.
That's dumb. And then there's the leaps in logic, and then there is poor writing here, and it's fucking ridiculous. And I'm not a defender of the show. I don't own any stake in Fox Disney. I don't even love Aliens as a franchise. I love 2 of the movies, and the rest are not very good. And so it's like I wanted to kind of like this show, but this is an episode that there's some scenes that I love. Like I love Kersh. Kersh is still amazing. We're getting more of his backstory, more of his motivations. I feel like they're hinting towards some of his motivations here in this episode. I like the fly stuff. I like all the monsters of the week. It's just literally everything in between is just forced shit and characters acting dumb for dumb's sake, characters withholding information that would be incredibly pertinent and would end the show. The show would be over if a character opened his stupid fucking mouth and he just like, yeah, it was purposeful. He crashed. I watched him on a recording that I probably downloaded into my fucking robot body that says he purposely paid a person on the ship to crash it. It's not an accident. It's corporate espionage. Give us our things back. The lawyer scene doesn't work because he's sitting. We know that Morrow watched Boy Genius on film and then downloaded the stuff from the ship
into his brain. So they've got it somewhere. They can download it on. And don't give me the fucking excuse that, he's an underling, so he can't speak out of turn. Or don't give me. There's another excuse that people will say, and it is that that logs can be falsified.
Okay, well,
video can be falsified.
Well, witness testimony is still something that gets added into court, whether or not it's definitive or not.
And if that's what they want to depict on screen, perfect. Fucking say it, and then address it.
Yeah,
because at least it's addressed. Not addressing it at all
and
pretending like it didn't happen.
Unfortunately,
has happened multiple times in this episode. So that's not even one of the bigger plot holes. That's a big plot hole. And then there's another big plot hole where the fucking dame, the scientist, I had to look up her name. Her name was Dame. Yeah. Dame something. The scientist, has moral objections. Her husband has moral objections to wiping Nibs' memory and getting her back to reset. But yet she ends up doing it. Right? And just fucking over her husband. So number one, fuck this bitch. Divorce. But number two, the fact that she's so fucking stupid, she wipes her mind and then doesn't tell any of the fucking other hybrids, hey, don't bring up what happened just like a little while ago because she's sensitive and we did, and then the third plot hole for me is no one works there. Is what you just said?
Well, I mean, that's the whole point of this whole thing is like
no one works at this fucking science research facility.
They let these kids who are children do all of this crazy shit completely unsupervised. They mind wipe someone. I mean, the whole thing is we don't have anyone that works here, and so that's the only way this chaos can happen.
Now, surprisingly, there is one where I will justify and defend, and that is the stupidity of Newton or Toodles, right? Toodles. I'll defend that as purposeful, right? This is Kersh's plan. He knows, and he probably actually sabotaged the fucking door to come off because he knows that this particular kid is going to do the best that he can. He purposefully sets that up on the cage that eats fucking, sense. So I think Kersh is purposefully creating this situation. He calls him to do the thing. I don't think it's, I think my hybrid is going to do a great job. No, he knows he's going to fuck it up. So that one I can excuse. And then the whole thing where it's like, okay, why is nobody work here? There should be scientists sitting everywhere, monitoring it the whole time. But there's nobody. It's because Boy Cavalier, you can explain away. Boy Cavalier is very selfish with all this. Doesn't want the corporate secrets. We've seen how much corporate sabotage and counter-espionage has been going on. Fine, so he puts Kersh in charge, and it's Kersh who is then, okay, now I'm in charge. I can fuck around, and I can sabotage this shit in the way that I want and conduct my own experiments. And he probably purposefully keeps that staff because we see staff all throughout this episode. They're walking in the background. I was very clearly looking for it because at first I was like, maybe Smiley grabbed somebody else. So I kept looking in the background for other people that he could grab to bring to the egg. Turns out to be that the scientist's husband, because I knew it wasn't going to be Joe, because Joe's got plot armor.
Yeah, he does. For me, I thought Kersh was more looking at slightly, not so much as Toodles, because he said, hey, is what's her name with you? I forget her name. He's like, take her with you. And he's like, oh, no, she's not with me. She's clearly in front.
Yeah. He didn't ask her to take her with you.
Well, he said, is she with you?
Right, because he wants to see if he can isolate him on his own. He's doing this on purpose, Joe.
Yeah.
You don't think so?
I don't think that, but I think
it
he's
is.
still just monitoring slightly and seeing what the fuck slightly and that.
I hope Kersh is the one pulling the strings. It's what makes sense.
That would excuse that.
Yeah,
it
but
wouldn't excuse what Alex brought up in the arbitration. It wouldn't excuse the stupidity of the female scientist who doesn't tell anybody else.
Well, when you have a
conflict,
super powered murder robot, you increase security. And like that, Nibs went crazy. She leapt across the room, was going to strangle a 60-year-old woman. And so it's like, maybe we watch these kids and don't let them do stuff. I like the idea that Kersh is sabotaging. That could work.
Yeah.
It's not. It doesn't. We don't have an excuse yet. That's just a cool theory, and I hope that that's the direction we're going. Because if that's not the direction that we're going, then it's just we have a dumb kids doing dumb kid stuff, and I think it's a horrible way to drive
plot. The way he put in
plot.
the plate too, that's fucking dumb.
Yeah, I don't know why Yutani didn't show the footage that was recovered showing Cavalier conspiring with the engineer to sabotage the shit. The easiest explanation, you know, but they could say, oh, well, you falsified the logs. Okay, that's fine. Go ahead, say that in the fucking meeting so that it's at least addressed, because I've been waiting for Boy Cavalier to do something smart the whole fucking series. And he finally does a little bit here where he knows about the regulations and
quarantine
all this
stuff
stuff to kind of outmaneuver Yutani. And I'm like, thank you. And then he's insulting her because in Japanese culture, you know, showing the undersides of your feet is insulting. She puts his feet right up in her face, and she's like rolling her eyes. Yeah. And she's like, I'll pay you $2 billion, $5 billion, $10 billion. Turned out $50 billion at the end because she wanted them immediately, and he still says no. And she's like, all right, send in the troops.
It makes Yutani look stupid and weak because you'd be like, cool, let's just download Mother, and because Mother knows that there was a saboteur and like all of that stuff is there on the ship, and they could be like, cool, we're gonna go do all this stuff.
Yeah, you gotta at least address it.
Well, and Cavalier doesn't know that they know. So like Cavalier doesn't know that they have that he went through the logs and all this stuff, because the Cavalier probably like, hey man, delete all this stuff to make sure.
That's how you put him on the back foot.
Yeah, because I thought it was gonna be like a counter. He's like, oh well, we have the pictures. He's like, oh no, we have the call logs too. Do you want to see those?
We recovered the call logs.
Would you want to see the call logs?
Something.
Well, you want to see my pictures? Do you want to see the call logs?
Yeah, something.
All right. I'll tell you what.
Exactly.
That would have been great.
Make mention of it.
That would have been amazing. Yeah. But unfortunately, it wasn't done like that. So now we realize it's a show. And you got to get the plot moving, and you got to get these things happening, and there's a message of the pure hubris, the stupidity of humans. But there's only certain things that I'll allow before you break my suspension of disbelief, before it feels like stupid writing and weak writing, because you can make stupid things. Characters can make stupid decisions within a framework where it makes sense.
Sure, like the common people talk about is characters in horror movies don't know they're in horror movies. But every character in this horror movie knows they're in a horror movie because the monsters are there, they're present, and so when they're acting dumb, it's not like we don't know that it's in the next room. The kid knows he's walking into its bedroom. And the kid knows that he eats metal, and the kid knows he's made out of metal, and so
walks in there
like
with his back turned. I like when he walks in the back.
He could have just done this.
It's I know, but it's one of those things where it's like,
super-powered robots.
Don't go in that room, so that your audience, the lowest common denominators, can be like, well, dumb it then, and yell at the screen and stuff.
It's all the sheep's fault. It's all the eyeball.
I get it, and for some people that's awesome, but for me, it's just I don't like that kind of. I've never liked when kids being dumb is the sole way that we motivate.
Stupid scientists with all their drinks and juices doing all the experiments. Like
but
I know something's gonna happen.
I think at this point we can say Teosilis is evil. Wasn't trying to help the humans, just trying to find a way to get out.
From his perspective, the humans are evil. He's still the good guy.
True. Okay, so the evil sheep mean mugging everybody all episodes.
He's creepy.
And then actually, is the one that kind of sets all this off by ramming the window at the appropriate time, which scares Toodles and makes him accidentally close the door, and he's not able to get the door. Now, I thought he was going to call Kersh right away, but he's like, he wants to be a scientist, and he doesn't want, to think he's a fuck-up, so he tries to handle it himself. It's too fucking late. But Teosilis, man, I love it. As soon as he takes over, somebody over here was saying, as soon as he takes over a human body with a calm and clear voice, he's going to say, you are the dumbest fucking species I have ever met. I mean, seriously. You dumb fucks. I'm sitting here watching you motherfuckers this whole time just fuck shit up.
Yeah.
You know, and honestly, we deserve it. So
I want
like
him to take over Kid Cavalier, and I want him to wear an eye patch to cover up his so that no one knows, and he just becomes one of the 5.
Nice.
And he walks out as Kaiser Soze.
Yeah. Golly. So there's just a growing list of kind of stupidity things that are happening here that's hard to excuse. And we get in that territory of movie making and horror tropes and things like that. But I just think that it could be written a little smarter.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean that I don't like the episode, because overall I do like the episode. And I liked many scenes in it. It just has some problems that I thought, because we elevated so high from the last episode. I'm expecting that same level, and we get some glaring inconsistencies, some plot holes.
There's just some characters that I don't like, and I don't like their motivations. Like Joe is this weird character.
Like Joe.
It's like I don't, and then his motivations kind of in a way like make sense, where he wants to protect his sister. But this whole thing, I got to get her out now, and it's like, bro,
we don't care. We just don't care.
Yeah,
the actor looks out of place to me.
You have no family anywhere else on Earth. You're living in an island paradise. It's like, give it some time. You don't have to get her to escape right this second. Like there's no urgency, and he's acting like there's a meteor about to hit Neverland or something. So I just
don't like him. I can actually excuse that kind of behavior, because if xenomorphs were real and there's a xenomorph and your sister is talking to him.
Well, she's controlling.
By the way, I fucking hate every fucking scene where she's like, with her
and how do we start this
lips,
episode?
Her stupid. Don't fucking mimic the
That's
aliens.
exactly how we start this episode.
I hate Wendy mimicking alien sounds with her mouth, and I hate looking at it, and it triggers me. All right, so we can do an episode breakdown, I feel, but I feel like they've revealed how shit has hit the fan. We were worried that there might be too much stupidity involved when shit hit the fan, and I think it's executed half as well as it could.
Yeah.
It's not a complete fuck up. Because I will buy into, and we'll look by the series end. Is it really Kersh's plan? Or what, like Joe said, he's only really allowing the slightly thing, and he doesn't know it, and he didn't sabotage the lab or knew that Toodles was gonna fuck it up.
He didn't know he was
purpose.
gonna be a dumbass and then go in there.
He
His
didn't know
whole
the sheep
body
was gonna wreck shit. Right. So you might be right, Joe. But when that is revealed,
you're not right, because I will give this show a
then
very low
I'm
score.
going to give this shit, more shit.
Yeah.
For that also being fucking
That was
stupid.
pretty fucking dumb.
If you're you absolutely could be correct. You could be correct. You could be correct. If you are right, the show's getting a fucking low ass score.
Yeah. Well, I hope not. I hope he's helped sabotage, because this is consider the people that built this fucking... Number one, there should be other people in there. But I think that's intentionally Boy Cavalier selfishness
Again.
and Kersh's control over the program. Nobody in here except for me and my team.
Yep.
Right? Because somebody built the fucking lights and somebody built the containment centers. And if you're a person who knows what's going to be in here, you'd be curious. Is my containment unit good enough to hold these things?
No, because
you're not going to make a fucking door that falls off forever. I guarantee you he sabotaged it. Please.
Well, he
Jurassic
sabotaged
Park,
that, but then
John
in their secure,
Hammond.
it's secure locked lab. They have an air vent that's human being sized.
I was about to say that.
Yeah,
I was
it's
gonna
like-
get there.
it's like-
that's so fucking stupid.
It's like there's not a secure. I don't know.
That's the tropey
fucking
shit.
huge.
So I will allow.
So look, I've been defending this fucking show weekly, right? To audience and the people that have been screaming this show sucks and why can't y'all see it? And sometimes against the boys. But this one is a bridge too far where I'm like, all right, I'm starting to see a few things that you're saying. Doesn't mean I don't like it. It does mean that I can excuse some shit like this, so as long as it ends up in a good place. But I am starting to get whiffs and hints that there's not enough episodes to resolve it in a way that's going to satisfy me, and that they're clearly already expecting multiple seasons, and that can be disappointing for me.
Yeah. If we're going to final verdicts, I think this is a below average episode. I think that there's some really cool scenes that I really enjoyed, but I think for the most part, I was just constantly rolling my eyes like, hey, why aren't you saying this? Oh, we're going to go with stupidity versus this. And that isn't taking into consideration that I actually do personally think that Kersh is maybe not fully orchestrating everything. He's certainly allowing it, but then he is also doing things to set this up. He purposely sends Toodles in there alone because he purposely knows that certain things are going to happen. And so I can't. I don't like it when the kids are dumb and then they walk themselves into rooms with the bad guy, or when the characters
like
act
I said,
stupid.
I'm okay with that, but I'm not okay with the other things that you brought up.
Well, it's like the kid.
If it was purpose,
these are super
sabotage.
powered kids, and he walks like he's holding something worth. It's a metal tray. He can open. He's seriously super powered. They can leap like 90 feet. He can open a door and drop the thing and shut the door.
Yeah.
But we have to film it in a dumb way because the director didn't want to come, or the writer didn't want to come up with an interesting way to make it work.
Yeah.
And then again, I think the lawyer scene, while I think it was kind of cool that we got to see it, I think it was horribly executed. And if it was on a legal show, you get an F. Like, you get a fucking F for no one saying like the smoking gun that's here.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't know. I cool. The flies are cool. I would have rather them not know what the flies eat. And then the flies surprise everyone and they escape that way, than have just like, oh, everyone's stupid, and then it's hubris. It's like, I've seen that movie a bunch of times. It's not great.
I am between a 5 and a 6, but 6 is mainly because of certain scenes. I do like the scenes; they were very standout. Awesome, Kersh, Morrow, best parts.
Yeah.
But overall, with the story and everything, brought it down. I'm gonna go with a 5. It just a lot of stupid things. We saw a lot of these plots coming. The execution was dumb. We'll wait to see the end result. But this episode alone.
Yeah, it's clearly a weaker episode than last week's. I'm going to go 6 out of 10. I do think it's still above average TV. It feels like I'm watching a movie every week, but this movie is airing more towards the fucking, Crystal Lake bullshit and fucking
Prometheus.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny you say that. I'm looking more positively on Prometheus as time goes along. Now, obviously not excusing some of the stupidity that's in the film, but some of the other good stuff there. And this TV series is much the same way, right? There's some stupid fucking stuff here, but there's also some really great stuff as well, some lore expanding stuff and building stuff. So I think I'm going to end up at a 6 out of 10. However, mark me down as worried that the next 2 episodes are not going to be able to give me a satisfying conclusion, and we're going to be left on a cliffhanger. I can't stand this new idea in TV and streaming that there should only be 8 episodes in a goddamn season. This feels like there needs to be 16 or something, or 12 or something, because I feel like we're going to cut off at like literally the best moment. And unless you tell me ahead of time that there's going to be 2 seasons or 3 seasons, I'm going to be fucking pissed. Because it feels, right? It feels like, and we'll talk about where we think it'll end up here in a second. But, so the stupidity of some of the actions here, while if you're watching as a viewer and you're not thinking it through, then you can think that every single thing is fucking stupid and this is the worst thing you've ever seen. But there are explanations for a few of them. However, not all of them. And that's where I'm starting to see some of the cracks in the armor there. But, okay, well, we'll see what happens on episode 7 and 8. These are directed by the same person, and I think it's going to be, where everything kind of happens and resolves. Okay, so join us in the extended spoilers and episode discussion. Hey guys, welcome back. So I've got a comment here. Let's see how some people are reacting to it. There is a reoccurring theme of characters being so stupid that the plot can happen. That's just lazy writing, and in this case, the writers found a cheat code by making half of the characters kids, so the stupidity can be justified. The doctor made all the wrong decisions and would have gotten himself killed with or without slightly there. Also, how the fuck can the richest company in the world have a malfunctioning feeding system? Why is
That's
no one
sabotage.
except Kersh watching the labs through cameras? Why are all the specimens in the same room? They are not on a ship with limited space here. The security is non-existent. We've got 3 guys who are really just National Guardsmen who are, their unit has been wiped out.
Search and rescue
Yeah,
people,
search
yeah.
and rescue. Their unit's been wiped out, and you're just using 3 search and rescue as your new security. A lot of this stuff doesn't make sense, and that's the weaker writing. Boy genius, by the way. Not to mention how in episode 5, the eye could simply escape from its bottle by dropping it from the height of 2 meters. Why does the test bottle have the durability of 1? Okay, but, so nothing is making sense in this show, and it thinks it's so smart. And it's a shame because the show has a good budget and lots of interesting ideas, but in the end, it's all going to come down to the characters are dumb and the android wanted to run some experiments of his own. Wow, I've never seen that in the franchise before. So I just wanted to get, a scathing, negative perspective that's not a fucking dick or an idiot, that has legitimate,
Yeah, we
he's got a legitimate point.
we agreed with that. It's like, look, we're getting tired of the kids. Hopefully the kids are in these robot bodies and start advancing, but apparently they're not. So, yeah, they're doing dumb things, and we too are annoyed with that.
Yeah, I think some of the Kersh stuff I do believe it will get explained away. That's kind of what I think they're hinting enough at that now, where some of his Kersh complaints, the feeding system, I do believe was set up in a way that it's supposed to. I do, yeah, that's maybe wishful thinking, but some of the other stuff I completely and totally agree with. But I don't think that the show is framing itself as super smart. So that I don't agree with.
The fans of the show may be lifting it up, and that I don't understand why that annoys people. To me, I don't give a fuck. Is it entertaining?
Well, I mean, so I
don't
understand.
care if it's smart.
I understand it because it's like a Skyscraper with The Rock, which was trying to do a remake of Die Hard, and it took itself really seriously.
Yeah.
I don't think that movie is trying to take itself as smart, but it's like it thought of itself as something that it wasn't. But I don't get that here because I don't think Aliens has almost ever been smart in the last 30 years. When did Aliens come out?
Yeah, in the last 30 years, sure.
And so it's like Alien has kind of turned in, the Alien franchise has kind of turned into, what they said,
schlock.
humans being fucking stupid, and it's hubris, and then...
So it's just doing what it thought. It's almost paying respect
but
in that way to the franchise, you're saying.
I may agree with what this person kind of may mean is that I prefer the stuff from the very beginning where I think Alien is one of the best horror movies I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, it was fucking amazing.
Yeah,
and... then we started getting awful shit for the next several decades, and so it's like I don't like any of the stuff that Ridley Scott's in.
Resurrection.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I can't. And the lack of security here sucks because you let the guy who you're gonna fire, you don't immediately escort out the building, right?
No,
because then I forgot later on in the episode he fucking disables all protocols, disables the cameras that are their eyes, disables their trackers, and then only then does he notice, one of the robots isn't responding, one of the hybrids.
Yeah, that bald
responding.
guy was like,
He goes and
pack up all
investigates.
your shit. If you're still here later this day, I'll shoot you.
Yeah.
He's gonna be there a week later. Oh shit, he's still around. It's like,
And
I
his
forgot.
wife is just.
It's like,
Her acting, it pisses me off here because it's like she wants to say something, but she's not gonna say anything. It's like bullshit. If your husband was getting fucked over like that right then and
Or
there,
about to be
you're
shot.
not saying you're not saying anything. Fuck you.
Do you think they cast them as husband
done.
and wife, or they cast them like we should make them husband and wife to up the
I
drama because
honestly
they
didn't
are
know.
definitely
I
a
didn't
different
know.
generation.
We didn't know.
I didn't know
She's
they were
20 years
together.
older than he
It
is.
almost feels like they shouldn't have mentioned that at all.
Yeah.
Because I would have bought it
Exactly.
if they're not in a relationship. Now they may be ex or estranged or whatever, but still you've got to stick up for. All right, fuck it. Anyways, but yeah, so I'm starting to see some of that, and with 2 episodes left, with roughly 2 hours, can I resolve this? The most we can do for this is the island is going to go to shit for the next 2 hours, and then at the end, the characters are going to be free to do whatever the fuck they want. They're out, and then that's the big cliffhanger. They're out in the world. Will we get a season 2? I don't know.
Joe
I have
gets
some
his
information.
sister.
Oh, they've got to. I mean, they're making a season 2 out of Shogun, which in no way no one wants this.
That was FX and Hulu too.
Yeah. And so it's like they're like, holy shit, this was so successful, we have to make a second season. It's like, but there's no other book, and they're like, fuck it,
we don't care.
Yeah.
We're gonna wing it.
All right. Well, so let's see if I've got some other bits here. Anything y'all want to start with while I look this up?
Well, so we kind of do the thing where she's if you're going to go to the breakdown.
Okay, we will do the breakdown, but before, I found it. So, Alien Earth premiere hits 9.2 million viewers. That's real good in the first 5 days. So I think that's a small success. And of note, Hawley stated in very early interviews for his draft proposal to even get the green light, he had to write broad strokes for a 3-season series that led directly into the who, how, and why of Alien, because this is set 2 years before the original Alien film. Why does Yutani use, space truckers and divert space truckers to get more eggs instead of sending military or whatever? Because they were like, well, we're under so much corporate espionage, what better way to try to get something without your rivals knowing by just rediverting some space truckers? So 3 seasons is kind of the idea. And I understand that probably it was so expensive that FX and Hulu and Disney are not going to be like, okay, yes, you're going to get all 3 or you'll get all 5 or whatever. We need to see how it does. Now, it's done what it's done. It's not fully done. Are they going to get it? And I err with Alex. I think while it's probably nowhere near the hit that Shogun was, I do think that they're going to get a second season. Yeah. And I'm happy for that. It's not announced yet, but John Landgraf, CEO of Hulu, said the plan was to do at least 2. But again, there's at least 3 written. And I suspect that if it was super popular, they were going to try to do HBO 5 seasons, right? I don't want it to go 5 seasons. I think 3 max. 2 is probably ideal. Yeah. But that's where I'm feeling. What are y'all feeling?
Yeah, I think that my hope is that everyone on the island, the aliens win. And I wanted to that
they're going to escape.
That at Neverland, everyone that is a human being or machine dies. Joe makes it out because he's got plot armor. He leaves with his sister because we need her for season 2. Yep. And then
all the other aliens escape.
And then they populate the whole island. And then the season 2 will be them going back, Yutani, or because I don't think
multiple corporations.
I don't think
this
Kid
time
survives.
maybe.
I think Kid dies.
Oh yeah, Kid Cavalier.
Yeah,
it would be so good if the eye monster gets up in there.
Yeah,
And so, but I think that Wendy and probably not Joe, but Wendy will have to go back to the island to try to. They're going to try to salvage the island season 2.
The xenomorph is becoming a side character in his own thing. But you know what? I'm not that upset because I love the lore here. But he needs another good kill. So it's either going to be Boy Cavalier or the Eye with Cavalier. Xenomorph with Cavalier. Any other one, I'm going to be disappointed. I'm going to be mad. If it's not either of those 2. Let's say it's Kersh killing Boy Cavalier or Wendy snapping his neck or something. That could be cool too. But why would she get to that point? I don't know.
It's going to be Joe.
You think that would be... That's my fucking Twisted Metal.
Again, if you're right,
the winner of the Twisted Metal tournament,
he's
you
like,
son of a bitch.
That's my sister, and get mad and kill her.
They have the saddest physical fight ever.
Leave my sister alone.
No, and then the other. Well, it could be the alien that we haven't seen a whole lot of is the plant one.
Yeah.
I would love.
Oh, we gotta get that.
Maybe Kersh throws him in the plant one and
sucks him up.
It's gotta be next episode. We gotta see what he does.
Yeah, well, maybe he's just been, that's why he's like, because it kind of scared him.
There's no human beings in there because it doesn't like Kersh because he's not human, and so so far we just need to see what it does around humans.
Okay, so let's jump into the episode breakdown. So again, we get Mimi. I just hate
favorite scene.
I hate Wendy mimicking the stuff. I can't where her butt teeth and just like stop it. And then we get the tiny alien, cute. The tiny alien is so cute to me. we don't get to see this often. This particular birth cycle in his younger state, and she's gaining its trust. Trying to learn its language. She's like, I don't quite got it right, but she's excited about it. And I do like the alternate, Joe and Kersh talking, providing a little bit of drama here. He does say, I misheard him the first time without the subtitles. I thought he said, I want to take her home, right? That's like an onion asking how to take care of a store. That's what I thought he said.
Star. Yeah.
It's a star, so that's even more. That's even crazier.
Yeah.
How does an onion take care of a star? I thought it was like, you're selling onions in a store, but apparently the subtitle says star.
Yeah,
so.
I mean the shelf life difference. I mean, he's like, look, she's gonna live for thousands of years, and you're gonna be dead probably in 30. So
Right. So and Kersh has the best lines of the whole fucking series so far. I just love all of his stuff. So that's a great scene. And then we get the mind wipe Nibs scene where the dude is like, I need this unit to be good because in 3 weeks, and that's when I was like, oh, look, there's not enough time for that. But there would be time in a season 2. So that's when I started thinking, oh, fuck, we're not getting, the satisfaction. Or the show has so much potential that there is good stuff. Because I was thinking about a reveal show with the hybrids or whatever and them going crazy on the other CEOs or something. That probably not going to happen, but, it's just fun to think about, right? So he's like, I need these units ready in 3 weeks for the
Especially
presentation.
now,
or just
the
don't bring that
specimen-
one.
Right,
specimen
exactly.
are all free.
And I guess maybe they've revealed them before, so the other corporations will be like, yeah, where's Nibs? Where's the other one? Where's the redheaded one? And they're, but if they never showed him off, then they don't have to fucking bring him. But yeah, so then the dude fires the guy on spot because he finally grows his spine. He's like, no, I won't do it. And then his wife immediately goes, I'll do it. What the fuck? What is wrong with this? I haven't had enough convincing. She clearly, when he first brought up moral objections, she was like, well, Boy Cavalier is so far ahead of everybody else. And that's how he's so rich because, I got to trust in him.
I just don't understand how this is a step too far for him to grow his spine because they've already turned down all of their emotions. Like, that was part of the whole transfer process is, like, make them less emotional. And so, like, this is just, like, deleting.
I'm okay with somebody growing a conscience after making a fucked up decision. So you initially make a fuck up decision. He's like, I shouldn't have done that in the first place. And then it's not like you just make one decision and then you never question that decision the rest of your life and you never stand up.
But
for
this decision,
especially for
they're
this.
just helping
That's
her.
just my opinion.
Well, yeah, but that's this decision is just making her forget her bad day.
In his mind, he's erasing her memories, and we have no idea what this is going to do or if it's even going to work.
It's science.
Yeah.
So this is where he's saying, you're just saying, yeah, I have problems where
You've done this-
this particular event,
Yeah.
his red line.
I just don't.
I don't think it's this particular event. I just think he's like fucking sick of this, and that was just the last straw. It doesn't actually have to be a world-ending, moral-ending event. It's just yet another fight with a corporation telling me to do something I don't want to do. I don't want to do it.
I just would rather they do something that is more severe to the kids, and he goes, no, absolutely not. They're still kids, and then I don't know. I just didn't think it was as believable as I wanted it to be.
Mm-hmm.
And then this let's see, the wife does jack shit, and she doesn't even stand up for him, doesn't say anything, and they don't have a scene where he does say, "Are you serious?" But she doesn't stand up to him. She doesn't stand up to the company. They don't have a scene later on. He's motherfucking dead. They'll never have a scene. So unless it was on the cutting room floor before he went in, and they just said, for pacing, we're going to cut this out. But I felt like that's a little weak. All right. And then we get the scene where Wendy's like, this could be a good one. I was like, a good alien? Okay, so that has the potential in a season 2. Or, since they've been setting it up so hard in season 1, there's going to be one scene where Wendy is going to control the alien outside of containment and show some kind of dominance over it, or queen drone relationship where she can prevent it from killing somebody or direct simultaneous Joe.
He's got to live. He's going to live forever.
Or directing it to kill someone else. Cavalier or somebody, or the soldiers that Yutani is going to send to the island.
She's too important, and they'll have to send her back in season 2 because she can control them.
Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking there. And then in season 2, we get this guy, and we can give him a loving nickname. Like a lot of people have nicknamed, all of the aliens over. If you're a big fan of aliens, it's like, it's been so long. I think there's Chappie, there's Nethead. They give nicknames, so this could be a new one coming up. If I got those right, let me know, and what some of the other ones are. Anyways, then we go to the or we get an odd song transition again. There's a song, Let's Tessellate. It's like,
What is this the Wendy and the Nibs scene before this? Because that's also awful.
Wendy and the Nibs scene.
Yeah.
No, that's a little later on.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I
Joe. Joe's working on a way to get out, and he's excited to share. And she's like, "Well, what if I don't want to go?" And so we're setting up that conflict. But I do think ultimately they got rid of that conflict. In this episode, she's like, "All right, fuck this. Fuck you guys. I want to go." So they're going to go, but then there's still that, how can an onion take care of a star kind of thing. So, well, that's a different conflict coming up. Anyways, the arbitration scene, we get Yutani and Prodigy going at it head-to-head, and he shows some intelligence here. But again, the huge plot hole where Morrow doesn't mention it, Yutani doesn't mention it. Show the sabotage. Show the conspiring with one of their employees, Prodigy's employees, Yutani's employee.
Yeah.
And Morrow just never says anything.
I mean, it would be if this arbitrator, who is, technically an employee of the Big Five, I guarantee one of the first things the Big Five get together is like, what happens when one of us tries to fuck another one of us? How do we do that? There's probably
They're going to be on the side of Yutani.
Hundreds of pages of this is exactly how we handle corporate espionage that can be proven in this sort of way. And I don't know.
And if your immediate defense is to type, well, logs can be falsified. They even said it in one of the episodes because somebody said something like that, like logs can be falsified. And it's like, okay, well, then mention it at the very least.
Oh, sure. Let's go to Mother, then the ship that's still very much down there, and we will go through Mother's logs, and we will go through it, and then we will see all those other...
That's deleted. That's why he put all the thing in his brain, and then when he exited, he deleted it.
So there's no evidence on the ship?
It's in Morrow, so Morrow could have said it. But I think you can re-download. I think Morrow can hook up somewhere and put the fucking logs back because he's a robot, right? It's maybe a little memory chip or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so first plot hole there, or a big one that I don't think has a good excuse. And if you can come up with an excuse, fine. It's still weak for me. I needed it addressed.
Later.
And then Dame doesn't even, and then this is what you're saying, so Dame doesn't tell the fucking... Anybody at all. So the first scene after the memory wipe is she wakes up in a bed. Now, I think there's supposed to be a passage of time. It's been several days, I think is the implication. But still, nobody ever... Well, that makes it worse because she could have said, hey, had more time to tell the other, don't bring up all that trauma. Please just don't mention it to her. Something as small as that.
Have her wake up in the lab in a controlled environment where they can be like, hey, you were a little groggy. You may not remember some things, and it's totally okay. Don't have a mental breakdown and then freak back out and do all this other stuff.
Alex,
but it's like,
we have
so now we have a scene where we're planting the seeds for her to have another mental breakdown. But we've already been doing the mental breakdown setup. Now we're doing a more mental breakdown. And I get it, so that we can eventually have an explosion of mental breakdown.
Yeah, it's just fucking crazy. But she's like, I don't remember any of it. It's like, you're being weird. Brushing hair, just staring at the fucking mirror.
Start pulling out her
that
hair.
lady's crazy.
Yeah. So then we get the scene of Slightly trying to take Joe. I'm not going nowhere with you. With your eyes and your acting.
I have something to show you. What is it?
I got something
to show you. It's a secret.
We guess
it's a secret.
And even Joe's like, what?
I was so hoping
he was like, no,
that he was just going to grab him and drag his ass in
That'd
there.
be fun.
But then they have to do the plot armor thing again. And he's like, hey, that just so happens that no one works on this island anymore.
Oh my God, you're so right. I'm over here trying to tell Alex, no, this is not. Oh my God, it is.
Yeah, but before
yet another plot. There's got to be a plot armor count, and we'll have to do one by the end.
Before that, Slightly's telling him, like, well, why do you get to be here, not my family? Come with me. He's like, no, fuck no, man. It's like, well, first of all, I was there on a search and rescue mission. Yeah. Your family was not. Mm-hmm. That I just so happened to be there.
Exactly. That kid's got super strength. He'll break you in half.
Yeah.
Well, this is what I like. I like the fact that Joe's not, okay, let's go, So I was like, please, you'd never go with him, and he doesn't go with him. I don't even think he would have gone with him if the soldier didn't come in. This is not why I'm not going full plot armor, but it's plot armor. So then he's like, yeah, let's go on this patrol scene. So then we get
that guy was weird. He's like, yeah, I'm not going.
The game is weird. I ain't going nowhere with him. But again, it's awkward to keep these two characters in here. It just feels weird. Like the search and rescue team, like they wouldn't hire more professional mercenaries for better security. They hire the search and rescue guys where their unit was practically wiped out.
Didn't he say there's a lot of increased security on the island because they
we
know
don't really see that.
They're expecting.
I want to see it.
Morrow did say that.
Well, yeah. Hopefully we see him because there needs to be plenty of alien fodder in the next 2 episodes, or we riot.
I did see a trailer thing where some people pop out of a water and they look, like they're soldiers. So, but I think that's a Yutani invasion, probably. But yeah, we're gonna need some fodder. Anyways, this is when I also noticed their staff and their staff walking, and they're purposefully putting staff everywhere. So it's like, okay, so it's not a set problem, it's not a whatever problem, it's intentional. But if it's intentional, you need to tell the audience a little bit better so that they don't have all these questions. Why, with the most precious creatures on this earth that are worth trillions of dollars, do you not have more scientists monitoring them, conducting tests, doing all this? If the answer is that, number one, Boy Cavalier is selfish as fuck. He doesn't want any corporate espionage, and he wants to control everything. Fine. And answer number two is he puts Kersh in charge. Kersh is the one that is the program director and has control over that and doesn't want that generic asshole that's walking in the background with his clipboard to be in this experiment. He is handling it, and his team of uber smart yet uber stupid because they're children handle all of the lab work. I don't like it, but that is what they've
It's actually twice as bad as that because the most important human advancement in all of history, immortality, is his experiment plus the aliens.
So you're fucking with it's so stupid in that sense. But if that's the point, if that's, they've picked up on a theme of aliens, that humanity and rampant capitalism and there's lots of excuses that you can have for it. And I get it. And I agree with you, but when you're doing that, you need to do it at a higher level than this. Okay, here we go. So there's a staff, let's see, Wendy talking to the alien. We get a little bit of that again. The alien is growing exponentially, growing quick. So probably by the next episode, it is going to be a full-sized alien.
I wanted a scene of them feeding it.
You want to feed?
Yes, yeah. I wanted to see all of the aliens feed. So we got to see two, but one of them's a
meat somewhere.
One's a sheep.
Who eats the meat?
Well, we know that the leeches eat anything, but they won't eat dead stuff. They said only if they've been starved will they eat dead stuff. So that's got to be for like the xenomorph,
right? You know what I just realized? The previous episode showed us an infestation of those leeches. And not just 2 of them. There was like fucking 6, 8, 9, 10. Who knows how many of them?
all over the computer.
And the ship fucking crashed.
Well, you saw how quick they reproduced.
In my estimation, I think they're already out. But my question is, did they have some leeches in the lab somewhere? I guess I didn't see them.
I thought they did.
So they did. They want to. They're not gonna, unless they completely forgot about the leeches. They're not. No. So they probably thought there was only a few. They looked at the logs. There's 2, so we got 2 here. We're good. But I guarantee you, they could play with that in season 2 or whatever. That at least one of the aliens has already been loosed.
They're out in the building somewhere.
Yeah,
slurping people
up. Okay, so then we do the lab dude goes in alone. His name Toodles. Without Curly. He's like, is Curly there with you? And he's like, no, I got it. And then she's like, you want me to help you? He's like, no. And he goes, and you knew the second he said that.
He's dead.
You want some help? No, he's dead. He's going in there alone. So he's just hauling ass, doing it. He's happy and excited, but we get a great shot of the alien curled up, dropping down. Love it.
Yeah, I think that, so. The people that are like, "Oh, this is silly," the comment you read, like, I think this has to be purposeful, and it could be it, but it's like Kersh is like, do exactly what I tell you to do in this order because I need you to do it in this order so that the things that I fucked up will fuck up in the right way and all of these things will happen.
It's a little too coincidental.
But if we get to the point where he's right, let's get a 2.
It's gonna get bad. And then finally, Wendy confronts the scientist lady. That scene.
Yeah, it was great.
Dame,
It was,
she said,
it was wonderful. What if you're the problem?
Oh, is that what you call it? Corruption?
I know what that word is.
At this point, it's supposed to highlight a good character arc where Wendy is more and more losing her humanity, and she's becoming something else, and she's not considerate. If this is what humanity is, I don't want it. And that makes her a loose cannon, and that makes her more intriguing to me. It's just.
Again, like this goes back to I don't think that this whole thing that they did with Nibs, if they had harmed Nibs in a way, I totally get it. But like they're like, oh no, she malfunctioned a short bit. And I think that was an easy thing for her to explain, especially since they've done it over and over and over again. That they're trying to ramp up the drama for something that's like this big, and I think there's a ton of places where they could have done it. But.
Then we get the Joe and the scientist scene. He's like, I noticed that you're the one that actually cares about these hybrids and this and that. And at first, you think you're just going to, blow them off. But then they see the camera watching, and so he's like, yeah, check it out. And then, they do this thing. And then I said, okay, that's clever. But then when you look at it again, I've seen it a second time, the camera angle can see the fucking thing that he's typing. Whatever. And the camera is zooming in, so somebody must be controlling that camera. But I guess they're too stupid to understand that he disabled all their trackers. Because I guarantee in the next episode, they're going to be like, who disabled all the tracks? Someone disabled all the trackers. Well, I guess they're going to re-enable them probably pretty quickly. I don't know how easy it is to re-enable, but yeah. That means that there's a ticking time bomb and you only have a certain amount of time to do this. So I think shit is going to pop off in this next episode.
Immediately, probably.
Immediately. So. And then the final episode is going to have to be devoted to wrapping up this particular arc, even though they're definitely... no doubt in my mind at this point that it is season 2 bait, and this is not a complete story. You're going to have to wait for season 2. And I do think that season 2 will be approved. I will be fucking shocked if they say, hey, we're canceling the season. So I do think we're getting multiple seasons. And actually, I think we're getting 3. And I will allow for at maximum 3, but I think 2 is ideal.
2 sweet spot.
2 sweet spot.
The problem is I don't want to wait 6 years to have this go start
yeah,
to
I don't
finish.
want to wait for our lives to be
well, it's like House of the Dragon just got delayed again, and it's like we're talking about it like 2-year delay. And it's like you kill any hype. It's like all right. Well.
No, what I can't stand is when they go super long. So we've been having a trend of long ass production cycles from season to season. 3 years, 4 or 5 years.
Stranger Things. How long is that?
Animated,
those kids are 40.
Fucking manga and
those
anime.
Kids have kids.
This one, I will. I can understand 2 years, but I really want to get that shit to like a year. But there's more effect shots in these kinds of things than there is in primetime TV, where you just go.
Use AI. It's getting better.
No, please don't. All right, well, that's it for The Fly. The next episode is called Emergence. That's definitely the fucking aliens getting out and emerging. And then the end is the real monsters, which perhaps humanity and the 5 corporations, maybe by the end, each corporation gets an alien. It's not just... And then in season 2, you got to deal with that or something. I don't know. But we do know where it all ends. We do know that that the xenomorph has to be eradicated. And there is no infestation on Earth.
Well, and there is no prodigy.
They're trying to get another one. And there is no prodigy. So we know those things. If it lines up to get, Ripley and to divert.
Yeah. The final thing for sure is that they're talking to Yutani and they're like, oh, we lost all the samples. It's like, it's all right. We've got some more on the way.
Boop, boop, beep, boop. And then it pulls up. We've got this in range. Yeah. And it's But here's the thing. That doesn't necessarily mean the other aliens aren't eradicated. The other aliens could still be on Earth and fucking shit up.
That's why they got
all of them, but Igor.
I want Teocelus to win. Basically, I want Teocelus to get on a fucking ship and go home, hang out with his family.
He's gonna be your boy Cavalier with a big ass eye driving.
Go home, hang out with his family, drink a beer.
Oh Jesus, babe, what a day!
What a day! Let me tell
fucking idiots on Earth.
These dumbasses on Earth, right? Fuck, I think.
Where have you been? The kids miss you.
Oh, fuck. And then the ticks are
I
just
love it.
an Earth thing that they have to deal with forever because it's an invasive species. You know, when some countries bring their the fucking killer bees and
I
the
think
fucking fire.
you don't think
ants.
they're gonna just nuke New Siam and Neverland out of existence?
Oh, interesting.
That's how
nuke it
Prodigy
all.
goes away. Like you have to
Yeah.
eradicate Prodigy.
Damn. Okay, maybe nuke it from orbit, and that does take care of all the aliens. I hope Teoculus makes it out, goes back to their
He gets on a
planet.
giant squid and he lives under the sea.
Or his boy Cavalier
Crack.
in a ship driving off, because that's the true main character of this series. I would love it if there's a final scene. It's
I want Kersh to survive, and I want
Morrow.
our eyeball.
I like Morrow.
I don't think Morrow survives.
Yeah, I want the best characters: Morrow, Kersh, Eyeball, and I do want kind of Wendy. I want to see what they do with Wendy. Everybody else,
She's gonna have a real weapon this time, not a fucking paper cutter.
Yeah, let's make some predictions before the episode happens. Who dies? Joe
survives.
does. What?
Joe survives for sure.
The whole season.
Yes.
Okay.
Him and Wendy
there's
got
a
it.
small chance Joe dies and is put in some kind of body or is gets transferred into whatever.
Who's
But I
gonna
think
do
that's
it? Well, unless
you're
Wendy
right.
does it?
You're right because Prodigy
nobody else
is
wants
about
to do
to
it,
be
yeah.
fucked. Right. Okay. So you're right.
I would think
that went
Joe
down to
and
a
Wendy
1%.
like, all right, well, let's get out of here together.
So that's who
brother and
lives.
sister. Yes.
What about the Cavalier's assistant? That asshole
Oh, he's
that says
dead.
you're gonna be
he's
shot.
fucking dead.
Who's gonna kill him?
I'm hoping that Zeno.
Maybe the pod.
I'm hoping
the
it's
fucking
Zeno
pod
or
will
something.
get that guy with the fucking
Yeah.
shit. I don't know. But the pod is stationary. That's the problem with the pod is that he'd have to.
Might be the scientist, Dane. She'd be like
Dame.
looking for him, like, where is he? Then
Does Dame die?
Yes.
Alex. By
Yes.
who?
the plant.
Leech.
Nope.
I want to say the plant.
I'm gonna say Nibs.
I want to say plant.
Nibs is gonna go crazy and then kill.
Oh, we're gonna do the malfunctioning psycho robot too.
yeah, Nibs is gonna go psycho. Guy has to.
Well, like
Has
a psycho, but I thought like psycho, like maybe sabotage some stuff, but I don't think she's gonna go on a murder rampage.
Murder
You think
rampage.
she-
Yeah, because I mean
Next
that's
scene-
classic.
Yeah,
That's
next
classic
scene she's
alien.
still brushing her hair. She's like got no hair left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like white blood.
Holy shit.
That would be crazy. I'd be
I
like,
was like,
I'm out of here.
Yeah, let's go.
Shut
That's
Shut
perfect
that
scene.
room.
Perfect scene. She's walk in, Nibs, you okay? And she's just brushing your hair like, no.
Turns
she's
around.
fucking- Yep.
Or what
bam,
if the
dead.
flies lay a bunch of maggots inside of her guts and she finally gets her wish of becoming pregnant?
Ooh, that's another good opportunity. Somebody did say somebody was laying eggs in somebody's face. That might have been the flies. But I think in this scene it was the flies eating
Yeah.
his face. It wasn't laying eggs. But
They
they
spit
could still
their
lay eggs.
gastric juices and slurp it back up.
Blech.
Yeah. Okay. Of the hybrids, does all of them die?
Everyone but Wendy, I think, dies.
So Shmi,
Yeah.
he gets killed by some kind of alien. It's
gotta be almost-
Slightly's dead.
I want Shmi to live. Man, he hasn't really done anything.
He just wants to have
He's
fun
just
and play
there.
games.
I like Shmi, but I just
Yeah.
think that I don't think a lot of them get to live.
Oh, yeah, but
Yeah.
leave Shmi alone. Everyone else have fun.
I do think that Shmi and Slightly have the largest chance to make it, just because they've been doing a lot of development there. But that's juicy to take them out.
But everyone
I
wants
think by
Slight-
the end, it's only Wendy.
Yeah, and Utani kind of captures, and she doesn't escape. She gets captured by Utani.
Utani.
Well, yeah, and then Utani.
It's like, oh, you took our shit, now we took yours.
Yeah, and then they they do the Jurassic Park thing. It's like we got to go back, and then you have to bring her because she can, no.
So we bring the Xenomorphs.
Dude, you can
and put
do lots
lasers,
of cool shit with this. There was one comic book
put
series
some
that I really would
weapons
love
on
to
the
see.
Xenos.
You
Like lasers and
lasers.
Shoulder mount
We don't. They
cannons.
don't need. They're already the perfect organism.
Sometimes
Joe.
Doesn't
They
it
don't need
Jurassic
some
Park?
Sometimes they're
cannons.
perfect organisms, and sometimes they stare at a dumbass for like 2 straight minutes and they don't do anything.
That's because they play with their food. But we could do cool shit like going to the
Xeno with
alien. I've always
Glocks?
wanted to go to the alien homeworld, alien planet. What?
Xeno with Glocks.
Yep.
All right, Xeno with Glocks. Is
How about a
Joe's-
Xeno with
Joe's-
one of those flowers that you put on there, but
Oh,
it
the
actually is
acid
a
one?
needle and they could just squirt their own
Oh,
ass.
that's like the acid.
I'm sorry I brought this up.
The problem I have is they could do. You're right. The Aliens universe is incredible, which is why I fell in love with it 30 years ago. The problem is the people in charge of it are fucking stupid, and they've done dumb shit forever. And I'm so tired of having this thing that has this much potential that we get this much out of. And so I'm hoping that this is the time that we actually live up to that potential instead of doing the thing that we just assume they're going to do.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think that this team is talented. And I think we've already getting something good. And I just hope they don't fuck it up in the next 2 episodes. So that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I am excited for the next 2 weeks, and I hope you will join us for those. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you on the next Angry Joe Show. You put your own predictions down below. Who's going to live, who's going to die, and in what ways. And we'll see if it comes to fruition in the next 2 episodes. I think maybe the next episode is probably, maybe one person will die, but then everything goes crazy in the final episode is what I'm thinking.
I hope not.
But I do hope that it all goes down next episode,
Yes.
and then the final episode is kind of wrapping it up.
Yep.
We'll see. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys.